Today I want to talk about free will and how important this is in the work that I do. Many times when people call me for assistance, be it with spiritual cleansings, paranormal assistance, or even with tarot readings, what they don't understand is that their own free will plays a very important part. Hello and welcome to Lumen Divinum. I am Luna Sinclair, spiritual advisor, light worker, and paranormal consultant. This podcast is brand new, and I would really love your support in getting things started. Please leave a like or any comments and feedback that you have down below. Share with anyone who may enjoy this content. If you'd like to get in touch or book a service with me, visit my website or email me directly. I would love to hear from you and see how I could help. Back to our subject today. Just how important is one's free will when dealing with the spiritual, paranormal, or supernatural? In my experience, many people who seek out professional spiritual or paranormal assistance have in some way negated their free will or at least their personal power to the afflictions that are affecting them. Whether this is actual entities, spiritual attachments, or emotional issues that they require clarity on, most people look to a professional because they are scared, defeated, or confused about how to handle a situation by themselves. One of the first things I make sure to tell my clients when doing a tarot reading is to remember that regardless of what the cards may tell you, you still have free will. The tarot can show you possible outcomes based on the path that you are currently on or on the various choices you have available to you. But of course, nothing is set in stone. You always have a choice in the matter. When it comes to the spiritual cleansing side of things, the concept of free will and one's willpower goes much deeper, of course. When I am invited to perform a spiritual cleansing on clients or in their homes, I always make sure to explain that this is not a quick fix, nor is it a magic solution to the issues that they are currently experiencing. What it's really doing is initiating an opportunity for them to take their power back. When I go into a space and perform a cleansing, I can get rid of what is there. However, it is then up to the client and the homeowner to maintain this by utilizing and enforcing their own authority over the space and in their life. Of course, I don't just go in and wave a magic wand and then leave them to it. I specifically leave my clients with the tools, exercises, and resources that they need to empower themselves and to regain control of their space and their lives. And this is where their free will comes in. Most people expect instant results, which is hardly ever the case. When working with energy, and especially if the issue has been left to go on for a long time, the home and the client's energy will take time to settle after the cleansing. For some, this can take a few days. For others, it could take weeks or even months. The results one experiences depend entirely on the person's receptivity and their ability to maintain and enforce a higher frequency moving forward. For some clients, this may mean letting go of physical items in their space that initially brought in dark energy. For others, this could mean stopping certain habits, routines, or activities that are ultimately opening demonic doors in their home. While for others, it could mean simply saying certain prayers daily and upping their spiritual protection around their home and themselves. Of course, every case is unique and specific to an individual's situation, behaviors, and belief systems. I have rarely had clients come back and tell me that a cleansing didn't work or that nothing has changed. In fact, it has only happened once so far that a client was concerned because things seemed to get worse after the cleansing. Unfortunately, this can happen, and in her case, it was due to the fact that she had not followed my instructions after the cleansing. This particular family had a lot of clutter in their home. They had boxes and boxes of stored items from deceased individuals, and these were people that they didn't necessarily get on with while they were alive. I had instructed her to go through everything and get rid of anything that was tied to people she had a bad history with, as well as items that were simply taking up space or gathering dust and not being used. Unfortunately, she had not done this. She also admitted that her and her family were not doing the prayers and the other exercises that I had instructed them to do daily. So they had a few things to work on. And unfortunately, once my job is done, it is up to the client to follow through so they can see the desired results. Free will is also important when it comes to inviting in entity attachments or being affected by other spiritual afflictions. Sometimes we're not aware, as such as in the case where one is a target of witchcraft or black magic. But other times, we are the ones who have opened the doors unknowingly and sometimes deliberately, and we just don't know how to close them. One's free will and willpower will determine whether you can break free of such afflictions. If you believe you don't have a choice in the matter, that no one can help you, that you are damned, doomed, or otherwise helpless, then that will become your reality. As someone who's been affected by spiritual warfare and attacks my whole life, there were times when I indeed felt helpless and desperate. Times when I could just not see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I'm at a place now where I've come to realize that was exactly the point of it all. When one is being attacked by dark entities and even demons, this is the exact result that they would like. They will work to crush every hopeful part of you so that you are left with nothing more than a reflection of who and what you once were. When one realizes this, then one can make a decision to give in and admit defeat or to fight back. When you choose to fight back, you will need to muster every ounce of strength and determination in order to overcome such diabolical attacks. While our souls are powerful, in the physical we are mere humans, vulnerable to harm, and especially that which affects us in our physical reality. So naturally, in order to successfully fight off something that is ultimately not of this world, we need a higher power that is also not of this world. This is again where your free will comes in. If you do not believe in God or a higher power of divine origin, and you do not have faith in such things, then unfortunately you are powerless against such attacks. While the divine cannot or would never force you to believe in them, I do believe that this is ultimately why most spiritual attacks are allowed, and I use that term loosely, to occur. Because these afflictions will either push you deeper into the darkness or they will push you towards something bigger than yourself. People handle spiritual afflictions differently, and while some would allow themselves to be defeated, others will seek out a higher power. Once you find God, you are then able to start the recovery process and begin to empower yourself through Him, not the other way around. When you develop a relationship with the divine and you come to know him or them, only then can you ultimately come to know yourself and step into your divine authority and purpose. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please show this channel some love before you go. Otherwise, I'll chat to you soon. Until next time.